our longest trusted English newspaper since 1898. Now available digitally. Computer, order the Manila Times Digital Edition. Subscribed. Get the Manila Times Digital Edition for less than 2 pesos and 50 centavos per day when you sign up for 1 year. The Manila Times, news source of choice, trusted since 1898. Greetings and salutations. Thank you for lending an ear to the voice of the times this Tuesday, May 31, 2022. For today's editorial, green is the way to go. The green movement is here to stay. Its simple goal is to raise awareness about the importance of environmental conservation. It sheds light on how the environment is directly linked to human health, and the only way in which the environment can be restored is by applying science and conscious sustainable practices. The warming of the atmosphere and the oceans from greenhouse gas emissions have led to shifts of weather and temperatures that bring typhoons so powerful that they are almost unimaginable. Think of Super Typhoons Yolanda that laid eastern Visayas to waste, and the recent Odette that left Caraga and central Visayas reeling last December. The Philippines is one of the countries most at risk from the climate crisis. Thus, it is important for the incoming administration to think of concrete ways to mitigate its impact. One quick way is to again fund Operation NOAA, which was begun by the United Nations Development Program in partnership with the Department of Science and Technology and PAGASA during the term of former President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. Later, former President Benigno Simeon Noynoy Aquino III continued Operation NOAA. Among others, this laudable project provides geohazard maps for all the towns and cities, which lists the areas that are prone to mudslides and flooding and fractured by earthquake fault lines. Another is to provide subsidies to companies that produce renewable energy, and not just to one or a few owned by relatives of senators and other government officials. The startup costs for renewable energy are high, but there has been a renewable energy law since 2008. What have we done since then? Electricity in the Philippines is one of the most expensive, if not the most expensive, in Asia. Perhaps it is time to revisit the idea of joint exploration of the rich West Philippine Sea for oil and gas resources. Drilling for oil and gas and building pipes under the sea are expensive industrial processes, and the cash-strapped Philippine government needs outside help for these. Any agreement between the Philippines and China should be clear and well vetted, where the exploration would be done under our nation's jurisdiction and achieved through a peaceful diplomatic process. The profits could be split 60-40 in favor of our government. Moreover, our forests are dwindling in an exponential fashion. We must give tax breaks to companies that plant groves of trees in their areas or in places they have adopted as reforestation sites. Parks should be expanded since they are the lungs of our cities and towns. One laudable move is the Arroceros Park in Manila, which Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Dumagoso has turned into a showcase of what parks should be. Walkable, with lots of trees and shrubs, well-lighted, and beautiful. Another way is to minimize dependence on coal, since it is very polluting, clogging our cities and our lungs. The reopening of the mothballed Bataan nuclear power plant should be studied well, since it sits on an earthquake fault. The dire memories of Fukushima in Japan should still be vivid in our minds when an earthquake spilled open radioactive elements into the atmosphere and the sea. The toxicity and radioactivity remain to this day and will do so for centuries to come. The incoming administration should also make a stand to end plastic pollution, for which the Philippines is known as one of the worst in the Asia-Pacific. Vice President-elect Sara Duterte Carpio is pushing for the phase-out of single-use plastics, and we think she should make the new president see the wisdom in her advocacy. What about mining? Both President-elect Ferdinand Marcos and Duterte Carpio have openly advocated for responsible mining done in a sustainable manner. Rightly so, they are aware of its potential to boost the economy. But the community should be involved in all aspects of mining agreements. The reasons and the need to protect the environment are long and many, and they are urgent. The clock is ticking, and for some, it sounds like the ticking of a bomb. And that's editorial for Tuesday, May 31, 2022. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print, subscribe to our digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and listen to The Voice of the Times.